Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those on the European continent. Welcome to the second sequence of ATF's Flocked In series. This 45-minute session will give us an update on the robust market that Thailand has evolved into. Joining us are veteran buyers from significant platforms in Thailand. With us today, we have Adam Yukol, Program Director from Viu Thailand, Arthit Promprasit, Thailand's Director at Motion Content Group, Joe Suteestarpon, CEO of Mediaplex International, and Rachel Wu, Head of Acquisitions and Partnerships from True Digital. We're also privileged to have Sivalingam Muniandi, Senior Analyst from Omdia, joining us as this session's moderator. He will begin the session with a quick overview of the market, sharing some exclusive statistics. Let's welcome Siva as we begin this session.
Thank you very much and good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is safe during these uncertain times. And I'm honored to lead this session today, and I hope this gathering will offer you some valuable insights into the media and entertainment industry of Thailand. So buyers speak. What are they looking for actually? So the goal of today's session is to take a closer look at the Thai market, peeking into the mindset of content buyers and commissioners and revealing the current state of content alignment. So if you look at this slide, we can see a snapshot of how the pay TV and OTT segment is doing in Thailand. So based on recent research, Omdia seen a subscription number for the pay TV operators fall by 1.5% to 2.5 million in 2019. This is a drop from 2.6 million a year ago. So the OTT subscription surged 36.4% to almost 6.4 million over the same period. So, and the total pay TV revenue in 2019 was $285 million compared to $286 million for an online subscription. So despite the OTT's rapid rise in subscriptions, OTT providers are still on par with pay TV operators in terms of revenue generation. And then although the satellite accounted for only 11% of the pay TV subscriptions, it remained the fastest growing traditional pay TV platform, up 1.3% to 1.1 million in 2019. Albeit at a slower pace when compared to 2018, which was at 3%. So the cable and IPTV services with year-end subscription decreased 3% and 5% respectively. So despite the surge in OTT subscription, the ARPU, average revenue per user, remains stagnant at below $4 due to the pricing structure and strong competition among the OTT players in the country. The nascent online video market in Thailand continues to grow despite a lack of broadband infrastructure, rampant piracy, and low credit card penetration. Providers have innovated to overcome these difficulties. For example, iFlix and Viu have partnered with mobile operator AIS to offer payments via carrier billing. Furthermore, iFlix introduced an offline payment option in May 2018, where customers can purchase an iFlix subscription from more than 2,500 convenience stores like Family Mart, Tesco Lotus, and without any credit card requirement. So, and Omdia forecasted that Viu will lead the OTT market at the end of 2020 with 38% market share. Other OTT subscription services accounted for 31% market share, and this portion of the pie includes international providers such as Apple TV Plus, Eros Now, and Line TV, as well as the local services like Duni, Hollywood HD TV, Monomax, and Prime Time. So there are a wide range of opportunities and challenges facing by operators across the country. However, an offering of compelling content at a competitive price point that delivers on the promise of anytime, anywhere, TV and video will capture these opportunities, overcome the challenges, and ultimately find success by delivering a customer experience that consumers are willing to pay for. So it's worth sharing. Tencent launched VTV in June last year and Hook exited the market in April this year. And now, without further delay, I would like to invite our panelists for a compelling discussion and hope to go through as many questions as possible. So let's start with Joe to kick off this segment. Joe?
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, so help us to understand in general for those who are looking to find new opportunities in Thailand, how can one enter Thailand's market in order to sell successfully?
Well, from my point of view, I think Thailand is a very open market. We have very few issue on the censorship in terms of like OTT is quite free right now because it's no censorship applied to this segment yet. But having said that, I think right now in just like in every other Southeast Asian country, in this period of time, is a change of media platform. So all the media landscape right now shift from free TV to OTT. So I mean, there's a lot of player that come to the market, even like regional or local player in the market, not counting like all the free satellite, 100 of them in Thailand. So having said that, Thailand is a very self-focused country. We got our own language, our own culture, and the program that still top the rating on TV is still the local drama series. It's very hard to like compete with that. And all the top rating on OTT platform is all the local content. But in the same time, it's always a slot on the TV for more international premium content. And as OTT, we still need the variety of the content as well. Just as of yesterday is an announcement from the government on the OTT side as well, which will affect all of us because the cabinet just approved the new law on the foreign they call foreign digital platform, including video streaming as well, to put value-added tax in all the purchasing. So it means that all the foreign platform right now, they might need to consider more costing and send it to the government.
I see. Thank you. Wonderful. Great update from you, Joe, especially the new policies from the regulators. So, and then now I move to Rachel. Rachel, what is your take on this? To repeat, in general, for those who are looking to find new opportunities in Thailand, how one can enter Thailand's market in order to sell successfully?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a very interesting question, especially in 2020 when our business models are ever changing and the trends move increasingly fast at lightning speed. For us, it's at True Digital, it's really important for us to maintain some sort of agility and adaptability. And therefore, we really appreciate it when your partners come in and understand that need for flexibility, whether that's in monetization models. A lot of us are, for example, hybrid platforms. And for example, on our ecosystem, we do have a TVOD, transactional video on demand, SVOD, subscription paid model, as well as AVOD. So that is one consideration that I think partners and distributors alike could consider coming into Thailand.
Okay, thank you. So now we have heard what from the local providers. So let's move to the international provider, Viu. So let's hear from Mr. Adam. Mr. Adam, there's a two part of this question. The first part is Viu Thailand has quite a substantial share of the pie in the local OTT share space. So are you sticking to the success formula of Korean and Thai dramas? So the second part of the question is, will you consider other sources of content, seeing how these attendees today is from more than 35 countries across the globe interested in Thailand? So for example, will Russian content, what about the French and Spanish, Finnish products?
Well, let's begin with this, so that we're kind of like having fun, and penetrating the market with the Korean content in the last couple of years, and it's been tremendous success, because even though that as Joe mentioned before, that the Thai audiences are kind of like stick to the Thais, and they're trying to to expand the Thai content market. But when we kind of like get our niche, and we kind of like build up the communities, build up the relation between the platforms and the audiences, then we kind of like getting a strong foothold at the beginning, and then we kind of like trying to do not just the Thai content, but what we are doing is that we're kind of doing a Thai content that is serving the Korean fan as well. So at the same time, we kind of like doing a cross, the in-between between both the Thai fans, the Thai content fans, and the Korean content fans, and this kind of like bringing up more video views, more average viewing times per sessions, and all those things. And to be honest, the both are still having a long way to go. The market is still quite young, and it's still lots of space to grow. But if we want to stick to the same success formulas, no, because of course the competitors, the other platforms might want to follow us as well. As you can see, that there are lots of OTT platform has been increasingly acquiring Korean content in Thailand, and at the same time, there's a lots of Thai originals, lots of Thai acquisitions happening in with many other OTT platforms too. So we're kind of very open mind about looking for the new things, and we always let some little space for, let's say, R&D. We have to do some research and development to try to gain more new types of markets, and not trying to stick to the same old formulas all the time. But at the same time, yes, of course, the same old formula does work, and we need more efficiency out of that. How can we squeeze some more things out of what we have so far too? So that it's kind of like a mix of both.
Okay, fantastic, Adam. Thank you for the updates.
No
So we move to Arthit now. So as motion content group has presence around the region, so possibly pulling various expertise from different countries for a single project, and you would want the final product to have much mileage as possible. So how difficult do you think it is for foreign production houses to break into the Thailand market?
Thank you, Siva. I think it's been a question everyone's asking, because our foreign production house really need to break into, not in their own market, but into foreign markets. I think first of all is the fundamental is they would require a local knowledge. That's the most important thing to break into any particular markets they want to break into. At Motion, it is our company is a content investment company. We are investing in a premium content that see more and bring values and opportunities to our partners and advertisers. So we welcome all the opportunities, all the deals, all the production houses, foreign or local, to bring these or to uplift and create a premium content. I think to answer your questions again, that to gain the local knowledge at the foreign production house is probably needs up to the point that they would hire someone on the ground. I mean, if people are on the ground, they will they will bring value to that particular friend's production house. I mean, obviously their people need to have a local connections, building relationships and facilitating any success business model for them as well.
Okay, fantastic. So, Arthit, just to add on to what you said, as what you mentioned, localization of the content is very important in Thailand. So, when you say they need to localize the content, I would like to ask you why. Is that because of the culture or?
Yeah, I think I think Thai audiences are more flexible in terms of getting into foreign contents, either localized or in original form or original language. I mean, many OTT players or platforms here offering either both original version or Thai localized version. I'm surely that there are audiences in market for each of that version. I think some particular content, especially a Korean content, and Thai people are getting into familiar with the original version of the show. Okay. Along with Thai subtitle, but they are open to see local dubbed version of movies. Mm-hmm. And obviously animation is something that you need to present them in the local Thai language dub version. But series are fairly open now these days.
Okay, noted. Thank you, Arthit. So I'd like to back to you, Joe. You've been around for a while now. So perhaps you can offer an answer with greater perspective. Looking at the content acquisitions pricing, has this changed significantly with the entrance of international players like Netflix, WeChat, and how are the local players coping or are they benefiting from it?
Right. I think we are here back in the time, like in the past, we licensed for TV, we talking about exclusive basis on traditional TV with some like pricing standard. So the thing is, the pricing is still the same, but right now we go for non-exclusive for OTT. So if we would like to have like more exclusive, we have to pay more. Okay. So that's the point. So that's the first thing. But I would say that the period of time got less effect than the competition among the player right now, because as the business growing, a lot more player coming on OTT platform, and obviously there is a competition among all of us. So we're trying to avoid a pricing war, but it doesn't mean that we are not going into getting what we want. But at the end of the day, all the OTT platform, they got their own character. When people think about something, they think about you. So we are good for like a Western show. When people would like to come for series, for variety show from Western, they think about Uni. And same thing like True ID or Viu as well. They got their own character. So on that basis, I think we got our own way to explore in the content that answer to audience need. So I think that's the point and the way that we've been doing business.
Okay, so just to add on like what you said, so pretty much the cost is pretty much remaining the same, except the one you mentioned earlier, say that there is the foreign investors should expect additional cost because of the regulators newly implemented the policy, right? So okay, Rachel, do you agree with Joe?
Yeah, I essentially agree with Kun Jo. I think that ultimately all our platforms have our different strengths, and we have a different approach and strategies, and sometimes we want different things and approach things in a different manner, and that is I think what has been developing. But as with any industry, when there is a question of supply and demand, sometimes the costs do get inflated. This is not just within the content business, but the way that we approach the buyer-seller relationship is really that they're a partner. So no longer are they just a distributor, because in 2020 it takes so much to compete. It's on curation, it's on marketing, and in order for all these little factors to fall into into place in this puzzle, we really require and strive for a very tight partnership with our distributors. And it's really an interdependent and symbiotic relationship. And if prices at any point became unsustainable, then we don't feel like that would be a very long-term kind of approach or solution to that. So from our perspective, we really see that as an integral part in success together to move forward as a partnership in that way.
Okay, fantastic. So, but Rachel, I'm going to stick with you for the next question. So, what is your preferred mode of delivery today? So, considering issues like video resolution, so do we have to deal with more 4K video content produced in the near future, seeing how Thailand has officially commercialized its 5G earlier this year? So, does progression make logical sense, as Thailand has always been ahead of the game in premium contents?
Yes, for sure. True Corporation launched our 5G initiatives just earlier this year. And really, I think the whole 5G campaign and initiative is to enable and to be a digital enabler in Southeast Asia and beyond, not just for True ID, but the other subsidiaries we have in True Digital Group, including analytics and IoT. So just for us, from our perspective, how does that affect our content strategy? We really want to be positioned as a premier home and family entertainment streaming service on the big screen as well as on the small screen. And when we consider like our IDTV box rollout on the big screen, ultimately what we're thinking is, okay, yes, we do care about streaming quality, and we do have a customer-centric approach in terms of how we select and curate our content for our audience. And that does include kind of looking into 4K films, looking into VR potentially, that will be also rolling out later this year.
Okay, thank you, Rachel, for the detailed explanation. So before we continue, I would like to mention that there will be a poll happening right about now. So please do take part while we continue to engage in this discussion. So Adam, how important is localization of the content, such as dubbing or stories?
Well, it's very, very important for localization, because as you know, Thai is a very unique country, because we do speak Thai as a primary language, and we kind of like very reserved towards like communicating in English or in other languages as well, and so that's why it's quite essential to have like every content either dubbed or either subtitles, but of course the listening skills have been improved over years, and we see a lot of US content or European content or even Chinese content, or especially Korean content as well, because we've been knowing them quite well, that they still they also do prefer reading subtitles, and at the same time they still do understand quite a bit of what is spoken in the content itself. So I mean, it's essential, because like we are the countries of Thai, of speaking Thai language, and it's also that. But at the same time, I think that also in the upcountry, the dubbing is also very essential, very, very, very important. Even in the cinema, they still prefer the dub film rather than the subtitle films. But it's different from Bangkok, which is that they prefer more subtitle film rather than the dub films. But that is still another different story. It is Chinese content, which is more preferably dubbed rather than subtitles. So it's kind of like they're having a very weird preference in Thailand for all these localization things.
Okay, so just to follow up on that, when
Yeah.
content is dubbed into the local language,
Mhm.
so the quality of the content is affected. For example, the voices of the original actors cannot be heard, and viewers may experience unnaturalness when the lead synchronicity is inadequate. Do the local viewers accept this?
On contrary, actually, on contrary, is that Thai people are actually very entertained and enjoyed by dub, especially as I said, like I have to mention Chinese content is that if we do have in Thailand, we do have like a certain dub team, certain dub team, and sometimes it is promoted that if this particular dub team dubbed this particular content, this will be the massive hit. So because in fact, not only the naturalness of it, but sometimes the dub can actually improve the fun, transfer the what is not understandable by differences in cultures into another things, especially when you have like a sort of like comedy or any jokes that happens in East Asia might not be able to might not be compatible with Southeast Asia. The US jokes is not actually the same one as what we understand here in Thailand. So the dubbing is kind of like a crossover that people can fully appreciate. Even though it's not accurately right, but it's actually much more fun. And what we did, we just recently did one of the crazy things, because we know that if we do the dubbing or subtitles, and it have to be accurate? That's what we think, or is it entertaining, or is it have to be accurate? So we have like both the subtitle that is very accurate, like it was fully translated right, like into word by words, and at the same time we also reach out to the communities, actually ex-piracies too, the community to help us with subtitling, and we promoted that this team that you've been following when it was once like they were a piracy website, and now they are helping us to translate it. And actually, people were hyped about it. They love it. They love things that it entertains them. They don't mind if it's accurate or not. They think that if the content is fun, then it's the one that they truly enjoy. So we kind of like putting this up on the table. We kind of like having more options. More options is better than none. Especially on OTT platform, which has more. Let's say we have more ways to help um, the up country to get the dub versions of it, and the people who want to have the more entertainment through subtitles. We have different types of subtitles: English subtitles, Thai subtitles, or the other like communities translated subtitles. So this is kind of like a very different types of localizations. But at the same time, with OTT platform, you still have a chance to watch it in original format as well.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like have a different approach to that.
Okay, interesting. So very interesting. So, what do you think, Arthit? Like, is the dubbing is an issue because the quality of the content is affected?
Oh,
Um,
no.
don't think so.
Oh,
Well, I mean, as Adam said, it sometimes is enhanced that even improve the entertaining of the content even, and give you more local flavor to it, and you would entertain it more than the original version. I mean, in subtitles, even sometimes I can see some shall we say twisted, not really twisted, but more added local jokes into subtitle, even that even giving more entertaining and more relevant of the content to the audience. I mean, obviously it depends on which audience you are talking to, or you want to bring the content in, to reach out to. I mean, as Adam said, that's still more value to dub foreign films to penetrate into upcountry markets. That's very essential. You can't ignore that really.
Okay, thank you, Arthit. Great. So, Joe and Adam. So I have a question for both of you. So, what are the top three elements that stop a content from flourishing in Thailand? So, can we start with Joe first?
Right. To answer this question, I think is a long history. Like in Thailand, on the first thing first, we talk about the privacy thing because we believe it like 10, 20 years already since like DVD time. We like playing like police and thief, catching them, and then we open again. So same thing happened here on OTT. So basically when we talk with all the licensor on the content, so we so glad that we got the first window, and that night we come back home and we like open up the piracy, say, well, they took our first window already. So
Translated and localized faster than us.
right. So we don't know what to do. So I think that should be the first one. But right now, it's a lot of them on the piracy side. I know that the police been doing their job, closing them. But as you may know, one day they close, another day they reopen again with another name. So that's the first thing. So by solving that problem, we going to NBTC or even like internet police in Thailand, try to do something with it. So NBTC, well, we talked to them too many times, but it ends up like they don't have the like power to do anything at all. So it come back to the police, which result would be nothing again. So it just like going in the circle. So we don't know what to do. So the government policy right now is not support it, and it never support from like the past till now. So I think that the first two things, and the first and the third thing that stop the content from flourishing in Thailand would be the economic downturn, but it would be only a short term.
Short term, yeah.
We as an OTT platform, we might enjoy the subscriber live up in a few months, but it's only the short-term subscriber, or these subscriber, they just come and go. They are not like a die-hard fan who would like to stay with you for long. So when they go back to the office again, or they go back to the school, so they just cancel the subscriber. So that would be my top three.
Thank you. So let's hear from Adam. So Adam, what are the three top elements that stop content
Okay.
from flourishing in Thailand?
For me, I think that first of all, I think it should be the language barriers.
Okay.
I mean, this prevented lots of contents from entering Thailand, and you know, sometimes art is fully appreciated when it's authentic, and sometimes dub do work with some Chinese content, as I mentioned before, but sometimes some doesn't, and with more US content produced each year, you know, it's quite a large market. You know, they can have a better penetration with if the Thai have less language barriers towards foreign content, even the Japanese content, or even with Chinese content or Korean content, and also within the Southeast Asia as well. So these language barriers, and also the acceptance of other language content as well, are also the key to success in acquiring more content into Thailand, rather than just being only a few countries that Thais are kind of like used to. That's the first one. The second one would be the fragmentations of the platforms. With more platforms, this means you have to pay more cash to subscribe. You know, and also to browse through all this content would be quite a challenge nowadays. You know, if you want to watch series number one, you have to try very hard to find it. I don't know which platform. Is it available? You know, for example, or for example, the Disney Plus. I want to watch Mandalorian. Oh, it's not available yet. Where can I find it? How long will I get to see this? You know, it will take quite a long time until we get a chance to find all the content that we want. You know, unless it is pushed by the platform itself, by the push notification, by the promotional campaigns, or whatever it is. So the fragmentation is also preventing the content from flourishing in Thailand, even though we have so much content around, but we wouldn't be able to gain the access to it.
Okay.
And the last
So,
one,
yeah.
oh, sorry, please.
No,
go on.
no, we can continue. Sorry.
Okay, so the last one, which is like, if Joe said economic downturn is a short term, for me, I think the long term one would be the viewer taste. With the viewer, in Thailand, it's a bit getting narrower and narrower. You know, the taste of watching. You know, before we used to be very diverse. We watch many types of content, Indian content, um, also like the South, or mostly the South Asians, the Chinese, the Americans, even from Europe, and we are kind of very happy with all the genres, with all the types of content. But nowadays it's getting less and less and less, and that means that we have to try to resupply that. You know, and we, for example, right now the romantic comedies are quite popular amongst all the series, and with that you need to pay substantial amounts of fees to acquire them, and the price goes up and up and up, and at the same time people are getting less and less interested in that, because like there are only only genres of series available on on all OTT platforms in Thailand, or even on TV station too. And so at by the time you know that the market is shrinking, is that you don't have diverse enough content, and the viewer doesn't get used to enough content that you can produce it, and then try to balance things out. And this is really important in long terms for the content industry to survive.
Okay. Great. So thank you, Joe and Adam. So I like to move to Arthit. Arthit, what type of content are you looking to buy or co-produce, and what do you feel is lacking today?
I would say something related to esports. I think
Okay.
that there's more potentials and more room to produce a success esports show that not just entertaining the fans but entertaining a casual viewers too. I think that there are some esport titles being launching in Thailand, but they are more direct to some particular fans or gamers who play that game very well. So we're looking to produce something that open and more wide the audience. I think that's lacking. And I think the other thing is the cooking show that showing more reality type, I mean reality side of the cooking, rather than setting up in a competition way. I think that type of show is lacking, and it could see some potential to see more genuine side of cooking and more passionate side of Thai cooking culture. Really, yes.
Okay, great, Arthit. Thank you very much. And before we move on to the last question for today, Joe, I have a last question for you. I mean, Dooney is quite famous in terms of their local players in Thailand. So it's quite famous among the local viewers. So one of the local provider who quite popular among the local audience, what would be Dooney's key strategy when all the big regional players are in fierce competition in Thailand?
Well, on the first day that we launch our OTT service, we know that one day, on that day, Netflix gonna come, and everyone, all the big regional player that all global player will come one day, and here it is, they are coming to Thailand and represent well. So our plan, we are not plan to be a number one OTT in Thailand, but we plan to have like everyone knowing us and trying us. So we got our own ecosystem. We got our own channel on the traditional media and broadcast some of the interesting content. So we feature the show that on OTT as well. So our hope is would bring some of the traditional TV audience to OTT as well. So right now our business is quite vibrant. On the TV side, we got the money from advertiser, and on the OTT side, we got some of the people that know us from traditional TV and link them to OTT as well. So right now we offer quite a lot of package to the audience, like daily, monthly, and also yearly as well. Because as you may know, Thai people, the credit card penetration in Thailand is only like a single-digit percentage. So in order to get into all these people, we have to connect with all the telco and try to do the sachet package like daily thing, and that is what so famous among all the subscriber, and all the content that we've been offering on OTT side is all dubbed in Thai, because that's the way of Thai people. And when we see the statistic is like 80% comparing to 20% who listen to the original language. So the thing is we're quite flexible in order to answer to the audience need in Thailand. And we got a lot of customized marketing campaign to talk to our audience. We got like all the small marketing campaign and enhance with all the local influencer, try to promote the content, and a lot of time try to promote the name of Dooney. So right now I think well, it's got more recognition than in the past, and so far so good right now.
Okay, thank you, Joe. That's very informative. So, so the last question from us for today, before we move on to the Q&A session. So, any last advice to those looking to sell finished product or co-produce with Thailand? So, can we start with? Can we have a speed round on this with everyone? So, Adam, would you like to go first?
Well, it can be both. I mean, like some people want to acquire the Thai content, some people want to sell the content in Thailand. I think that even all the OTTs are here, we're still very young and we're still very small. You know, even Netflix too. You know, we still like having a really large room to grow, and we still in need of content. The Thai content are actually all sold, you know, somehow, and it was quite flourishing right now, and we're still in need of more content. Not just Viu, but I think everyone is looking for content. And as you see, every year new players are entering into the Thai market. And at the same time, if you don't have the content here, I know by co-producing Thai people's, you know, the Thai film and series industry are very well known of the very high quality productions, and there are lots of the team that has been working on with the Hollywood film, Bollywood films, and so on. You know, so many international production has been shot in Thailand. Like for example, The Extinction from Netflix was the one that was shot in Thailand. You know, last year I think, and they just recently released it. And so and you can see that they have a lot of opportunity in many ways that you can have more content pouring into Thailand, and also, you know, created from Thailand as well, and it just the land of opportunity.
Okay, so Arthit, how about you, Arthit? So, do you any last advice?
I think it's pretty much depends on, you probably need to know what your potential buyers need, what do they want, and what's their approach or strategic direction in their market, and offering the content, and also offering some a diverse of models, of business model to them. Sometimes if you just going to selling them directly, maybe it's not the case. Maybe you need to come up with some other alternative models. I think that's important. I mean, getting to know buyers is very important. You can't just have one show that you would imagine that would work with any players or any platforms. No.
Okay, great. So, Rachel.
I think she's still mute.
I think she's muted herself.
Sorry about that.
She's back. Okay, Rachel, yes.
I would also echo kind of what Kun Arthit and Kun Jo had mentioned before. about local knowledge, localization for both finish and co-productions. That's super important for us as well. Also, and to reiterate the point about the monetization models, for us as a platform, we, when we really try to optimize each revenue stream within our ecosystem, so that it's capitalized off 360, and in that way we can also potentially revenue share back to our partners, and that is something of utmost value to us. So in terms of the the flexibility in the licensing agreements as well as the monetization models, that's definitely something that we're constantly testing and constantly kind of reiterating and seeing kind of what works and doesn't. So that is something that I would respond to.
Thank you. So and finally, Kunjo, do you have any last advice to those looking to sell finished product or co-produce with Thailand?
Yes, my advice would be do some research and do some homework, study some media landscape in Thailand and study who is who. In order to get into the right audience, you must go to the right channel first. My advice would be don't try to sell your content, but try to listen what are we offering to the audience first and try to engage with that and find the right model to get into our service, our platform. And one day, once we monetize something from your content, we can go bigger in the scale.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, truly agree with you. It's very important to do a research before anyone to venture into the not only Thailand, any specific markets. So it's very important. Yeah, so fantastic. So a very real and practical segment, guys. So I would like to now take some questions from our attendees. And I can see we have had quite a lot come in, and I will try to address as many as possible. So let's start with Rachel. So a question from France. In the domain of scripted drama, how open are the Thai broadcasters to international production?
I think it really depends on the platform and exactly what the priorities are in target audience and segmentation. For us, we really consider content from all over the world, especially with our premium pay packages and our subscription models. And that in terms of that product, we really look for some differentiation. So we're definitely very open. I think it depends on the nature of the content, whether there's some universal themes or some highly critically acclaimed value or some marketing value that comes with the package. But yeah, it basically we are open to content from all over the world.
Okay, thank you. And then Adam, here's one from Japan. What kind of Japanese content is popular in Thailand, or are you looking for any?
Many actually from the anime was very popular in Thailand. Any content relating to or the manga, like for example, the Death Note was very well received in Thailand. The IP, this is remake IP from Japanese manga or Japanese stories. Recently, Line TV, one of the primary OTT platform in Thailand, did original based on the stories, the crime stories in Japan. I think two series back to back from the IP that they bought from Japan. So it's quite a big market actually for Japan. But the only downside that I heard of is that their right management has been quite complicated. For example, to promote them, to have the cast on board for road shows, for press announcement or either using the still captures on social media and things like that has been a complication so far with the Japanese content. That's why it's preventing lots of Japanese content from entering Thailand.
Okay, thank you. So Arthit, I have one for you from Spain. This attendee actually represents American produced TV movies. So where should he focus for better opportunities selling into Thailand?
Wow. Pretty much depends on how the stories and what the story is about. I mean, is story universal enough, or is it too Spanish centric, or is it more very, very universal? I think for that type of show, I would recommend them to offering to a pay TV service. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Joe, I had some good one for you. It's from America. So, any interest in remakes of foreign drama series increasing in Thailand?
Well, you would like to answer that, Adam?
Please, Joe,
Okay.
please go first.
Okay.
Right.
I've been talking
So-
too much now.
Right. Well, I think at some certain state of OTT platform, we look into commissioning our own format and show, and having the show that famous from other country. It would partly guarantee the rating that will come, or it got some fame from the other country. So we love to see something like that, because I think at the end of the day, all the OTT platform must have their own IP, just like all the big guy doing in the past until now, and we're still looking for one as well.
Okay, great. So I have another one for you, Joe, from Singapore. What are the top 5 genres trending among Thai audience? And for foreign contents, is Thai subtitles good enough?
Well, my point of view, it might not reflect all the Thai audience, but I can answer on the statistic that came from our platform. For what the people, they love watching, most watch on our platform is still be drama series. People still
Okay.
love series, and on some other show it might be some variety show, but some like a cooking show or talent show. But what we can see here is all the show is all like drama related. So like a cooking or talent is just like a background thing, but people
Okay.
still would like to watch all this drama that happen around the show. That's what we can see the trend.
Okay, so the question that for foreign contents, is Thai subtitles good enough?
Well, to capture a larger audience in Thailand, I would recommend Thai dubbing. So that's why we dub 100% of every content on our platform in our own language. But Thai subtitle might do well in some part of like city area, but it's not quite working in the upcountry and rural area.
Okay, great. So, Rachel, I have another one for you from Hong Kong. How has Chinese content been performing in Thailand?
No, I think Chinese content has historically been in the Thai market for a couple of generations, and I feel like only now is it kind of reemerging back into the trends. Chinese content is, it targets a pretty wide age distribution, as well as geographically within Thailand, quite a few regions that it does resonate with. So we think it's pretty much still a pretty prominent trend.
Okay, great. So, Adam, I have one for you from Russia. So, which foreign content are you willing to buy or will consider buying is a scripted Russian contents? If so, what genre would it be?
Well, it would I wouldn't be buying anything, in case of that, if it's not fun enough. And the thing is that we first, to be honest, you have to know which where you want to sell things. Then, with, for example, Monomax, Line TV, Channel 3, Channel 7, Netflix, even True here, and Dooney, they have different types of preferences and market penetrations. So to sell things, even though regardless of language or genres, but you have to know your audiences. And when you know the audiences, then you can make a better sales. For example, Viu, we are way towards female audiences, You know, as we know that we kind of like started out with Korean dramas and so on, and we move on into like more like Thai romance. So we kind of like a girl's best friends rather than Monomax, which is more like action packed aligned, you know, with CSI and those types of things. So when let's say that if you say that what I will buy, I say that I'll buy things that is actually first it's cheap, it's very efficient for the audience, you know, and second would be the one that serves the audience well. And to answer actually the one before is that if you want to buy like the US format, sure, but if the price is right, you know, if you set the price like the US price and it doesn't really correlate it with the Thai market and the growth, then we wouldn't be able to buy it. For example, if I want to buy like the right for Game of Thrones, then I wouldn't be able to buy it because our market size is too a little bit too small compared to the price that we buy from the US. And so that's why like I think the Koreans do understand that very well, and they're trying to put the price structures that is kind of like that related to the Asian industry. That's why they has been very good penetration. Recently
So what you're saying is because the Korean content is doing well, it's because of they're able to match the culture and in line with the local dramas, right?
Not just only the content wise, also the price structure wise as well.
Okay.
They are ever increasing in the price, yes.
Okay.
But it's go according to the growth of the market, and it's growing with the market size. It's not just that okay, here we are the big ones, and so you have to wish for us, and then you're gonna be running at loss. No, they're kind of like growing together with the rest of Asia as well. So it's quite okay for us to be acquiring from these people who understand the market size of the place where they sell their content.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you a lot. So I'm afraid that's all the time we have left for this very necessary session. Thank you, Kun Jo, Kun Adam, Kun Rachel, Kun Arthit, for the comprehensive information. It was time well spent, and I appreciate your candid and honest answers. So thank you, ATF, especially Lunita, for organizing this great session. We hope this session has illustrated the opportunities and challenges for you to expand your footprint into Thailand. So don't forget to log on again tomorrow at the same time as ATF takes on another session and delve into the market of Singapore. See you then.